Now, I'm going to be horrible, and I'm going to ask you to give me some do's and don'ts for prospective applicants to the competition.
Do see the audience as a support and people who want you to do well and want to hear what you have to offer.
Do have a system for what you do before a performance.
Don't be overwhelmed by nerves, but accept the fact that you will, of course, get nervous and learn how to deal with it, because if you're going to be a performer, that's going to be with you for the rest of your life.
It's part of the day job.
It is.
One of the things I hate is if I see a singer not listening to what the pianist is doing. This is very problematic in postludes.
Don't wear anything too fancy, otherwise our attention is drawn to what you're wearing rather than what you're singing or playing.
Don't wear something too outlandish that you haven't worn in a concert before.
I think it's a place for looking smart and special, but it's not a place for looking overly stitched up and formal.
So are you saying choose your own smart? Define your own smart?
Define your own smart, but absolutely and utterly make an effort on the stage. Yeah. It's part of the theatricality of what it is that we do. People want to look up and see an appealing picture, but they also want to see character, something that says something about who you are.
Do practice in your shoes.
That's really good advice.
Don't pick a dress that is going to encumber you in any way on stage.
Encumber in the sense of?
In the sense of either upstaging you. I think I've seen some incredible dresses that actually, funny enough, just don't fit the songs in a way.
Do wear an outfit that is comfortable. Don't turn up with some kind of a dress that goes around your boobs like this. That means that when you take your first breath, you go, and you think, oh dear. Do try out singing some of the songs in your outfit that you're going to wear for the competition.
Make sure you've performed any of the songs you're going to sing before you turn up at a competition.
Do know every single word that you are singing. If it's in a foreign language, do know exactly what you're singing about.
Do work with a pianist that you know.
Don't come to the competition with a song that you've never performed. I think you discover so much in performing a song that you don't just by rehearsing it. And so if possible, even somebody's front room. Just go to somebody's front room and perform the songs, because you learn so much doing that.
Do you think about performing the song live, not just doing all the pencil markings and the things that your teacher has told you? Make sure it sounds as if you're actually doing a performance that you want people to respond to.
Do enjoy yourself, that's the first thing. Do see it as an opportunity. Make sure that you're very well prepared. Assume that you will get to the final and prepare everything along the way. And think very much for those final stages in particular of balanced programming, light and shade, and keeping an audience and a jury engaged.
Yeah.
Don't give us songs that all sound the same. Yeah. Give us a variety of composers. Give us something that's a little bit more recent, something to surprise us, particularly if you get to the final, that makes us sit up and think, something that nobody else is going to perform, and something that fits you like a glove, that you've worked on with your teachers.
Personal to you.
Absolutely. And that you can show us something of yourself as an artist.
Yes.
And that will get you further in the competition.
Don't use an inordinate amount of gestures, but don't feel that you are straitjacketed as you stand on stage. Feel comfortable, but don't windmill at us. And that's just the pianist.
Do not be overly histrionic. I think the art of song singing is about being dramatic, but in an incredibly efficient way. It doesn't require the entire scene to be acted out. What it does require is a tremendous engagement.
So I don't want hand gestures which are meaningless. I don't want to be distracted from the singer's interpretation of the poet's interpretation. And the hardest thing sometimes to get over to singers, even the best ones, is that they seem to think it has to be acted out to hold our attention. It doesn't at all.
Don't ever give the impression that you've just disliked what you've just done, which tends
Even if
also,
you have.
Even if
Yeah,
you have.
yeah.
It's something that you get in masterclasses, that somebody sings the end of a phrase and then goes, or something like that. It also, that's very disrespectful, I think, to the music that is going on in the piano.
Don't use gesture to make a point in a song. Do use it maybe to back something up, but it has to be thought first. I think too much gesture really can obscure what is going on in a song and can actually just detract, again, from what is going on in your face. I think it's so important for your eyes and for your face to be the most expressive part of you physically.
Would you like to come and say that to my Guildhall students? Excellent answer, Mr. F.
Do choose things that you love. Don't choose a song that you don't like. Unless it's...
There are too many to choose from.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason
to choose something that you don't like, really.
Don't stick to a programme that's entirely obscure, because I think you're making life very, very hard for yourself. There's a lot of obscure repertoire which is undiscovered, which should be heard more often, but there's a lot of it that's undiscovered for a very good reason.
Do know what you're singing. What I mean by that is, if you're singing in a language that's not your own, make sure you understand every single word and are not faking anything.
Do stretch yourself language-wise. I think do German, French, maybe branch out into Scandinavian and Czech if you feel brave enough to do that, because there's so much wonderful repertoire, particularly the Scandinavian and the Czech, that's not discovered yet. Yeah. And it'll give you an edge. Be different if you can.
Don't go out on the town the night before the competition.
Don't engage in gossip while you're here. Don't go around trying to psych out your fellow competitors, and don't go around talking about each other. That destroys the atmosphere in a competition. Don't try to talk to the jurors while the competition is in progress. You'll get very short shrift, certainly from some of them, certainly from me. But I think it's very important to just respect those boundaries, and then it will be a wonderful competition for everybody.
Do see the competition as part of your development as a singer, and whether you get in the final, whether you win, however well you do, it's all about developing what you do, and they're all great experiences in front of an audience to discover how you do things, and it's a great training in that way. So if you don't get into the last rounds, or you don't win, do see it as a great opportunity, because there will be people in the audience who will book you for things even if you don't win.
Absolutely.
We see the jury as this very scary sort of people with their pencils, but they could be writing lovely sound or something.
I think that's worth remembering.
Yeah.
Do understand your poetry. Do have an opinion on the stage, and do enjoy yourself.
I think that's good advice, yes. Don't look at it as an exam.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is a pleasure. It's a great privilege for all of us who stand up on that stage, all of us who sit down in front of a piano, all of us who carry an instrument. It's a privilege, and it's something to take joy in.
Don't be overwhelmed by the idea that you're singing Wigmore Hall. Enjoy the fact it's actually probably the best hall in the world. And enjoy the acoustic and relish the acoustic.
And what does that mean in if you break that down?
The Wigmore is fantastic for singing piano and pianissimo, and for playing piano and pianissimo. Enjoy that, and enjoy the fact that you can almost talk to the audience when you're singing a song, which is the great thing about singing Lieder and song repertoire.
Come out with a big smile on your face, engage the audience, and similarly with the applause, thank the audience for showing their appreciation. It's basic manners.
It is.
It's basic manners, and it's incredibly important.
And make them feel welcome too.
Of course.
Invite them to the party.
Don't be. A lot of people say that, don't be afraid of the audience. They want you to do well.
Of course they do.
That's a really important thing, and some particularly, you get all these sort of the Wigmore Hall audiences and things, which are incredibly sort of seen as very highbrow audience. They still want you to do well. They still want you to entertain them. And the first thing you can do is by coming on and being jolly or being pleasant. Or you don't need to be over the top, but just be a nice person.
Don't make the same mistakes I did.